Hello Scrolls fans, welcome to Scrollscast. My name is Smog and we are jumping in right at the first round of this high-level game between Leeger and Raytional. Today is the last day of this ladder season. I suppose you would call this the second ladder season, and players are all online right now desperately trying to stay in the top 10 to get the special avatar reward. Leeger and Raytional are two of these players, both rated I believe above 1800 as of the time of the start of this video. Both have strong starts to this game. Leeger with a mono Decay deck goes Ripper into Loyal Darkling. Raytional playing a looks to be mono energy range, starts with Dust Runner with a gun automaton in front to defend it. Both had great starts. Leeger has a turn 3 play as well. He'll drop a Rot Eater in the middle of his army. Ripper comes in and deals 2 damage to the gun automaton over to Raytional. He does not have a 3-cost unit, but he could play out a Hired Smuggler. He'll have to make a difficult decision on what to sacrifice here. Ends up getting rid of his Ironclad Reaver, plays a Hired Smuggler, and note that he's choosing not to kill off his opponent's Loyal Darkling, instead letting it deal some damage so that he does not pump Leeger's Rot Eater, and he did that so that he's able to burn it on his next turn. Leeger responds with an Infectious Blight to take out the gun auto. Raytional goes up to 4 resources, gets that burn off, good play by him, draws into a Cannonetta, and no attacks this turn, so he's just going to have to accept that his Hired Smuggler will die, either to the Infectious Blight or to the Ripper damage. Likely the Ripper will deal damage to an idol, and Leeger intelligently moves to the bottom and plays out another Rot Eater. So the Infectious Blight spreads to the Dust Runner on the death of his Hired Smuggler. Another burn comes down, perfect answer to the Rot Eater again. Raytional goes up to 5 resources and takes out the Loyal Darkling with his Dust Runner. Leeger, left with only his first turn play, the Ripper, and a turn 5 play of Oblivion Seeker. Passes the turn over to Raytional. This is a lightning fast game. I'm trying my best to keep up. Lots of decisions for Raytional here. He gets rid of his gun auto. For scrolls instead of resources, he could have gone up to 6 to play both the Cannonetta and the Oculus Cannon. Let's see, he may not want to play a creature this turn so that the Infectious Blight wears off, and that seems to be what he's going to do. He goes ahead and plays out the Oculus Cannon instead. The Blight will not spread to the structure. Leeger plays a Tribesman out of his own, can't afford his Infectious Blight and wouldn't want to play it anyway. So the original Infectious Blight pops on Raytional's creature and now has no creatures on the board for it to spread to. Sacrifices for scrolls again, plays a Tempest Reaver in front of his Oculus Cannon, zoning Leeger into the top 3 rows for now. Languid comes down on the Oculus Cannon, neutralizing it for the most part. Still deals a little bit of damage if it's able to get an attack off. Draws into Witch Doctor, Harvester, and another Languid. Languid again completely neutralizes the cannon, makes it useless. Will he move his Oblivion Seeker down to deal 1 damage? No, instead deals 2 damage to the middle idol. Turn to Raytional. He has a Machinated to work with, no cooldown reduction right now, so he'll likely play out a creature. He could go up to 6 resources and play Cannonetta and Automata Forge, and that seems to be what he's going to do. So he's up to 6. Here comes the Forge played towards the bottom, and a Cannonetta in behind his Tempest Reaver, who will be attacking for up to 6 damage next turn. Moves his units to the middle. Ripper can deal 1 damage to this Tempest Reaver, but that's not particularly useful, so he moves it up to deal idle damage instead. Leeger goes up to 6 and plays the super strong Witch Doctor. He is now able to very well defend anything that against anything that Raytional wants to do. Raytional's going to need probably Violent Dispersal to get rid of that Witch Doctor, or, well, yeah, that's basically it from his deck right now. Burns a decent start. Note that Leeger will draw lots of scrolls off of that, so it's a fair trade for both parties. But Raytional really just felt like he had to do something there. He'll just end up killing the Husk, or not even actually, because of the Forge play. He goes down to 0 resources, so the Reaver deals 0 damage to the Husk. Leeger moves his units back down, positioning as carefully as possible. Note the Cannonetta with a Machinated might be able to get through and kill this Witch Doctor. A second Witch Doctor, though, comes down right in that 4th row. Raytional has a Tick Bomb and a Bombard to play. Pitches the Tick Bomb. There's the Violent Dispersal. That's what he needed. Takes out the Witch Doctor. Perfect timing on that. Moves his units to the middle. Cannonetta deals 3 total damage, knocking out a Husk and taking the Ripper down to only 1 health. 2 Harvesters in hand for Leeger, as well as a Tribesman. All 3 units could come down this turn, and I expect that they will. Harvester number 1, Harvester number 2, and the Ilmire Tribesman played down. Ripper deals a little bit of damage, and note that the Witch Doctor is not touching the Tribesman because of Leeger's play last turn, putting it in the back rank rather than in the middle rank. That was, he is unable to turn this Tribesman into a husk should Raytional kill it. Let's look at Raytional's hand here. With Machinated Bombard, he could, let's see, with that cannon, I don't know that he can get all the way back to that Witch Doctor. He can deal a fair amount of damage, but can't get that much down. I think he could take out both of these units, though. Instead, choosing to play out the Gravelock Elder, probably a smart decision. He could machinate it to take out the Tribesman. I don't know that that's worth it right now. Would make this Reaver pretty strong. Instead, just plays out a Gun Automaton, spawns a second Gun Automaton from his forge to the south, and deals no damage to the Tribesman. Leeger top decks a Cursemonger, pitches it, and finds 2 utility spells, an Ice Removal spell, and the buff Reaping Mask. He could, that might be useful, and he does go ahead and play it on the Witch Doctor. Still has 8 health, which is perfectly in range if a second Violent Dispersal comes out of Raytional's deck. But note that 8 damage will be perfect amount to kill off 1 idol. Leeger is being very aggressive with his play, choosing not to take out structures, instead taking out idols. Raytional still has the Machinated Bombard, has not been able to take advantage of it yet. Proximity Charge, that's an interesting choice for a ranged build, but definitely strong against a lot of Decay units. Won't affect the ranged Witch Doctor, but will affect everything else on the board right now. Cannonetta moves down to up to the second row, still behind the Tempest Reaver. What is this? Is he going to play Machinated? Hired Smuggler comes down. Proximity Charge comes down. Okay, so choosing not to play out his combo pieces, instead walling off. Look at this defensive monster he has assembled, even in a ranged build. Takes out the Ripper, spawns a Husk, and of course Yaku's Cannon does nothing. Soulsteel and Necrogeddon for Leeger will need to pitch 1. Neither Harvester is really counted down very much. They came down at the same time. Only 1 unit has died since then, and it's been a few rounds already. Ripper is the only creature in Leeger's hand. He would have probably preferred a stronger creature to play in front of his Witch Doctor, but at least Soulsteel will help him get something. And he moves his Tribesman down to play that role. Ripper comes down as well. Let's see, will the Shambler be moved? Or no, the Shambler will probably stay there to tank for the Tribesman. And note the trade here, the Proximity Charge for, I think it was another Ilmire Tribesman up there. This Harvester up to the top is vulnerable right now. Could be taken out by the Tempest Reaver, but Raytional is going to have to be very careful about what he does. At least 1 Harvester will probably attack next turn. Oh, look, a Violent Dispersal. The second one, good timing, could take out this super powerful Witch Doctor right now. It would deal 3 idle damage, but probably worth it. See how close Raytional actually is to just losing this game. He's already lost 1 idol, middle one on 3, and 2 angry Harvesters ready to attack and won't be able to kill them this turn. No matter, I don't think there's any option to do that with what he has. Though, interestingly, does have the Stormrunner Bombard Machinated combo in hand, and he can go up to 8 resources next turn to put some serious hurt on Leeger's army. If he can get to next turn. I don't think Leeger will be able to finish the game off because he can't stack both Harvesters down here, but he could deal some serious damage and take out most of what Raytional has, I believe. Raytional thinking about positioning, what units he can kill. I don't think he can take out more than maybe 2 units. He could move his Reaver up and his gun up to take out the Husk at least. But let's see, 1 gun moves to the 4th row, and he runs out of time. Units will just straight attack, and that ticks down the Harvesters. They are ready to rock and roll. Let's see what Leeger can do with them. He moves them both up to the middle. He sees the writing on the wall with this Reaping Mask, plays it on the Tribesman. When it dies, it will take out this center idol. The Harvesters come in and take out the top idol. Raytional needs to end the game without killing this Ilmire Tribesman. And note that Leeger had a Necrogeddon, so the game will end on his next turn unless he makes a fatal error. Raytional has the combo in hand, but it will not be enough, even though he'll probably kill everything that Leeger has except for the Ilmire Tribesman with the unstable Reaping Mask on him. Purification would be nice, though even Purification might trigger that. And then obviously he doesn't have Purification in his deck. At least he can put the hurt on Leeger, kill off most everything, do a lot of idle damage, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I think this is the game. Writing is going to be on the wall. Raytional looking for every opportunity, positioning his units, and maybe he doesn't see the unstable because he's going to go ahead and kill off the tribesman, and that will be the game, even with that great turn. Here comes the death of the tribesman to the Gravelock Elder, and there's the unstable 3 damage. Good game by both players. Well done by Leeger, taking the victory. This has been Smogan with Scrollscast. I'll try to get one more game in today as folks try to climb the ladder to the top 10. Thank you for watching.